Today we're going to review solving systems of equation using substitution, graphing, and elimination, the three ways that we have learned. Let's start by using substitution. When we use substitution, we need to choose an equation and isolate the variable. If I look at my two equations here, I notice the second equation, the y is already isolated. So I'm going to choose this equation. I don't even have to isolate the variable. I'm going to choose this equation. Once I've chosen this equation, I am going to replace y in that first equation right here with everything you see right here. Okay, so if you look in the next section here, I rewrote the first equation. Here it is, right here. And then I replaced y with everything that was in there. So there's no longer the letter y. I replaced it with -1/2 x plus 2. My next step is to start solving and isolate the variable x. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute out this minus sign here. This minus sign means I have to change everything in the parentheses to the opposite because I'm multiplying by -1. So I ended up with now +1/2 x minus 2. Then I'm going to combine my like terms. 2 plus 1/2 is 2.5. I changed it to a decimal to make it easier to put in my calculator if I need to. So now I have 2.5 x minus 2 equals -7. Remember, now we have to undo the subtraction by adding 2 to the other side. When you add 2 to -7, you get -5. And my last step is I divide by 2.5. When I divide -5 by 2.5, I get -2. Now, I can go take this x equals -2 and plug it back into either equation and solve. I'm actually going to plug it into the second equation because I already have y over here by itself. So I wrote the second equation. Instead of x now, notice I changed it to -2. So now I'm going to use my order of operations. A negative times a negative is a positive. 1/2 times 2 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Done. My y is 3. Now, my ordered pair is x comma y. So the point where these lines should meet should be -2 comma 3. That's the answer. Next, I'm going to do the same thing through graphing. Now, in order to graph my equation, I need to have it in the form of y equals mx plus b. If you notice, the second equation is already in that form. So my first dot is going to go on +2 on the y-axis. Right there. Now, my slope is -1/2, which means I'm going to go down 1, right 2, or up 1, left 2. And I can keep doing that. Down 1, right 2, put a dot. Up 1, left 2, put a dot. And then I'm going to connect those with a straight line. I did my best to draw a line going through those points. I'm going to tell you right now, this is the least accurate way of solving systems of equations unless you have a tool that graphs everything perfectly. Now I'm going to take the first equation, I'm going to rewrite it in the form of y equals mx plus b. I'm going to move the 2x to the other side, making it a -2x. Now, since there's a negative sign in front of my y that's over here, I have to change everybody to get the y by itself to the opposite. So when I rewrite this, I'm going to write this as y equals +2x plus 7. And now I'm going to graph that equation. So when I graph that, my y-intercept is up at +7. Up here. My slope is +2, which means I'm going to go up 2, right 1. Because remember, you can always put a 1 underneath here. I could also go down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. Notice I just put a red dot on top of the blue dot that I have there. So that should be the point where the two lines intersect. And then I do my best to draw a straight line. That line came out even worse, but hopefully you get it. Okay, now I need to look at the point where they meet. Here's the point where they meet. Well, that point is -2 up 3. So the point where they meet is going to be -2, 3. Ooh, you should notice something right now. It's the same answer I got here. Okay? I'm proving to you right now that no matter which method you use, you will get the same answer. Now let's look at elimination. Elimination, we need to stack the equation so that the terms are lined up. So I usually like keeping the first equation. I like it where the x and y are on the same side and my number is by itself. So I am going to take my second equation and I am going to move the -1/2 x over to this side. When I do that, when I move it over to the other side here, I will be making this a +1/2 x. So let me type those two equations in for you. So as you can see, I retyped the first equation right here, and I typed the second equation. I moved like I said, the 1/2 over here. This became +1/2 x plus y, because y is positive, equals +2. Now my x's are lined up, my y's are lined up, and my numbers are lined up. The goal is to make it so coefficients of one of the variables in each equation, either the coefficient, which is the number in front of the x, or the number in front of the y, are the same, or negatives of each other. So they want to be opposites of each other. So if you're looking at these two equations, I already notice that I have a -1 in front of this y and a +1 in front of this y. So when I combine these two equations, the y's cancel out. You want to be able to cancel out a variable because you can't solve it if there's two variables. So you have to first cancel one of them out. So step 3 says to cancel out, to eliminate or cancel one of the variables. So I'm going to actually start step 3 up here. Like I said, my y's cancel out. And now I'm going to combine 2 plus 1/2. Remember we said before 2 plus 1/2 would be 2.5 x, and -7 combined with +2 gives me -5. So when I did that, I canceled out the y's. I combined this. I wrote 2.5x. I wrote equals -5. Then I divided both sides by 2.5. -5 divided by +2.5 is -2. Remember, if you need your calculator to help you, use it. You should notice right now, if you look right across here, ooh, I feel like that looks familiar. It looks like some math I've done already today. And yes, it is. So I know I'm on the right track. Next, I'm going to take my x equals 2, and I'm going to plug it into one of the original equations. You definitely want to do one of the original equations. Now, you'll notice when I did this, I plugged it back into the second equation. I took x equals -2, and I plugged it in here for x. There we go. There's my equation. I replaced x with -2. Remember, a negative times a negative is a positive. 1/2 of 2 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So my y is 3. So now I know that my ordered pair is -2, 3. So again, as you will notice, I got the same answer no matter which way I solved it. Elimination is honestly my favorite. But it has to line up. Your x's, your y's, your equal sign all have to line up. Graphing is great if you have a graphing calculator or you're really detail oriented. And substitution is also not bad. But like I said again, I usually like to get my variables to line up and my equal sign to line up, and I prefer using the elimination method. You will notice that there are some more pages that I will attach to the Google Classroom. I have not completed the next few. Your assignment today will be to choose either page 2, choose possibly page 3, or this page here. You don't have to do all 3. Choose one of them, and I want you to show me that you can solve that system of equations each way, through substituting, through graphing, and through elimination. Good luck, and we will go over this on Thursday. 3, which is this page, or possibly this page here, 4, which is this page, and complete one of those 3 pages. Page 5 has nothing on it. It's going to be one that maybe we'll make up at some point. I'm going to assign this as a CAMI assignment. Okay, so you must complete one of those pages. And you email me what other assignment you completed. If you have nothing else to complete and you're all caught up, make sure you email me and say, hey, I'm all caught up for today. But you must, again, everybody must complete either this page here